I'm still firing up, and I thought, you know what? People have been asking for this video about how I got this home, this amazing new space, 760 square meters, freestanding 2-bedroom home, just perfect, nice east-west position, great for gardening, some okay soils, and a few fruit trees on there, and in northern New South Wales, in the Byron Shire. Now, I'm coming through live on my phone here, and it's just a sporadic live, so many of you watching it will just be coming in sort of later to watch the rerun. So what I want to do is share for those who asked about how I come about this new home and why I moved from the mid-north coast just down near Port Macquarie to a place like this, actually, which I regard as my home. I've been displaced, and this is a really hard thing for me to do because I very rarely mention this stuff, even though I try to stay authentic as possible and share as much story as I can about my life. You know, sometimes we just don't want to go too deep and personal on things because you get judged for who you are and what you say and things like that. And, you know, if you're having a bad day and you read some of the comments and stuff, you're like, oh, you know, but you know what? I thought this has really got to be shared. And, you know, I'm a Christian. I have my walk with God, and it's got a lot to do with that. Now, if you don't believe in miracles and all that type of stuff, that's okay, no problem. But you might still want to hear the story, right? And so if you're a long time viewer of Marty's Garden, you would know that around about 6 years ago I come down with dystonia, and I was only making a video every now and again. I was a really bad way. I had like this bad like involuntary movement in my neck. I looked like I had Parkinson's or you know, something along those lines. They put it on the same website as Parkinson's, and it was really bad. My doctor said, you just got to stop doing everything you're doing to get well. He said, and this doctor was really cool. He was a Vietnam vet doctor, and so he's in his retirement. No one else would really see me or help me. They didn't really know what to do. Another doctor had turned me away and said, there's nothing wrong with you. It was a really sad state of affair, and I was living in a shared house, and we had like 2 little bedrooms, me and my daughter on our own, paying at that time I think it was $250 a week, which was achievable, but I didn't want to be raising a daughter in a shared house where, you know, you just people coming and going, you don't always really know, and she was quite young, and it wasn't really working out for that. We ended up out west, more away from the coast, the beach, 45-minute drive from where I used to live, and that was long distance in this house that was supposed to be, well, it was like a mobile, not a mobile home, it was just like a big box really that was put up, and I didn't know it was a legal dwelling. There was a lot of problems with it, a lot of problems based around that place there. I was still getting well, still trying to get well, studying. I went to study screen media, and was working the micro farm and different things, and again still sick and not really healing, and it was just getting worse. And so I thought, how can I get me and my daughter a 2-bedroom place to live in? There's $600, $700 a week around this area. I was paying $400 for a 1-bedroom box, which is outrageous. So I ended up moving south, about 5 hours drive south from where I live, or south you go in Australia, the more colder it gets, but I was right still in sort of like a subtropical edge of temperate subtropical. We see your first fruit trees, not fruit trees, palm trees, things like that. And my family had a holiday house there, so I could stay there while I looked for a place. Anyway, it sort of started to settle in. We got a good, reasonable rent, 2-bedroom place, fairly quiet. I didn't have to work for a while, and so I just took nearly a year off to heal. And after that, I got really blessed with a job straight away, like a job as a lollipop man, helping the kids go and cross the road and stuff like that. And I started doing a little bit more filming again, and didn't really know the direction I was going to take. And I sort of was interested in, worm farming and sharing that. So we just started doing that, and that started taking off again a bit. And working with the composting worms and just doing my little job in the afternoons and mornings at the school. But I was getting more and more over time, more and more lonely, just being away from where all my close friends, and I'd spent over 2.5 decades in the Byron Shire. I lived in Thailand for about 5 years where my daughter was born. I survived a tsunami, all that type of stuff. When I came back, it was just the rents were outrageous, couldn't afford it. Lots of things went down. My Karen's mother was really ill with mental health, and I ended up having to separate from her for my daughter's safety, stuff like that. And so things were really gnarly. And but as I said, I'm sort of like talking about this from my Christian walk, right, with God at the same time was really rocky. And I was like, why is this happening? You've got to be grateful in all things. So I just kept on being grateful for everything. And eventually we got this, so I was getting sort of a bit more lonely and wasn't really feeling sort of like things were going well. And all I could see myself in the future was living in a mobile home somewhere down where I was and being just displaced, which we were displaced because of the high rents and my illness and things like that. We couldn't. And so I just wanted to really get home. So I just started praying really hard, just thinking, I just want to get home. I just want to get home. I want to get home. I want to get home. We had the floods here, so there's like hardly any rentals. There was already rental stress before that and rental price stress. And so I was like, oh, wow, I've got to do something. I've got to do something. So I just started packing up. And I just started like, as though I was going to move, even though I knew there wasn't really much hope of finding anywhere because there's 50 people applying for these cheaper places and nearly impossible to get in, especially when you're on your own, one small salary, and two people, maybe living together, going for a 2-bedroom house, 2 salaries, that type of thing. And you're just thinking, you really don't have a lot of hope, and I just kept on praying, speaking of close friends, pray for me, man, pray for me, I need help. It's got to happen. I just don't want to end up, I've got to get home. This is important for me and my daughter, and especially, for my daughter's future as well, because the retirement area where I live, and there's not a lot going on for her into the future. So I've got to get back. And then, ringing lots of real estates and saying, oh, Marty, it's really hard, even people that I know, the expenses and all that stuff. I said, I'm just going to do it. I don't care. I'm just going to battle on. Somehow we're going to find a way. Anyway, I get this phone call and asked Martin, where this is North Coast social housing, and you're high on the list for a certain town in the Byron Shire. Would you like to stay, do you want to stay on the list? And I'm like, yes, I'd like to. And I said, well, what do you mean high on the list? Well, it means when something comes up, you're very likely to get something. And I'm like, oh, wow, really? Have you got something? She says, I can't tell you that, Martin. And I'm like, oh, okay. Send me all the details and we'll see if you're still, if you're still eligible. So anyway, I just felt in my heart straight away, do it now. I rang work, got the pay slips, got all my tax stuff together, sent that off. And sent that off. And then I was like, I ringing them and they go, oh, do you know what's going on? And he can tell me, oh, we can't really tell you, Martin, but can you mow a big lawn if a place comes through? And I'm like, yeah, I can mow a big lawn, no problem. I'm thinking, well, big garden, everything, all that, Anyway, I sort of like gone for this super high, like going, wow, something's going on. Praying more. Telling my friends, go on, man, keep praying for me. Like something's going to come through. And they're all going, wow, that's unreal that you've got that call. Anyway, what happened was 2 days later, I look, because I get a lot of spam calls on my phone, right? It's like, people trying to sell you stuff and all that. I don't always answer my phone. I look at who it is and what the number is. And it was this certain number, and I've looked at it and gone, oh, man, that is just the bomb. I've gone, that's a good number. I'm sure that is. And anyway, I'm like having this mild anxiety attack, the wobbly legs. Hello. And, hello, is that Martin Ware? And I'm like, yes. This is North Coast Housing. We'd like to let you know that there's a place available for you now. And I've just gone, really? She's gone, yes. I'm going, tell me more about it. Anyway, she's telling me more about it, and I scooted up that weekend to have a look at it because we had to sort of look and to accept to be all legal and everything like that. I'm ringing all my friends going, man, it's come through. No one could believe it. It's like winning a lottery, these things, right? They truly are. Like, people stay in them forever. Once you're in them, they're permanent housing. And so I'll tell you a little bit more about the story, which makes it even more interesting, because some people, obviously, you know, like, this is really sad for them, but at the same time, a blessing for me. So anyway, what's happened was, I drove up, I've had a look, and I've gone, big yard, nice aspect, good street, not far from the shops, not far from the schools, not that far from work, about 10 minutes to the school that I'll be working at. And I'm like, this is just a dream come true. I just couldn't believe it. So I just started I rang the real estate, just cancelled my thing straight away there, so I didn't pay any more high rent. Started packing more and telling my friends and getting things rolling. And it was really, really getting exciting. And I was actually like, it's gone from this high anxiety of always worried about if the lease finishes up at the place, will Karen and my daughter be homeless because of all the rental stress at the moment. Lots of people are homeless in Australia, even people with good jobs and things, living in cars and stuff, because on the East Coast, because there's just not enough rentals around, especially around the flooding area between Port Macquarie and sort of like up, you know, on the New South Wales East Coast, right? And anyway, we need to keep going on the tea. We're going to I'll answer some questions for sure, anything that you want me to answer, as long as it's not too personal coming up. So anyway, did all the moving, packing, everything like that, going through some crappy stuff. The real estates, man, they just suck. They're so nasty at the end. They're really lovely to you when they're getting money off you. At the end, they just want to suck you and leech you dry. They're trying to do that at the moment to me, but we'll, you know, battle through that sort of thing. I don't have to worry about that anymore because we've got this permanent place. So anyway, as you know, we've been following Australian news. We had the big flood, right? And now the house that I'm in, it went just above the floorboards, and it's so about a metre off the ground sort of thing. Now, Pepe Fassos, a good friend of mine, I went to visit him, and we're going to be doing some videos with him here. Went to the roof on his place, just absolutely gnarly. He was out there the other day. But we'll talk more about Pepe Fassos into the future, as he's a microgreens just legend as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, what happened was all these places that are commission places had to be shut down by made not habitable, right? So because they were all flooded, and everyone that had their lease terminated, unfortunately. And one person, when the houses were fixed and repaired, insurance and everything went through, people were allowed to move back into their house. They had to sign new leases all up, right? And the rents are quite cheap. They're very reasonable, about, you know, 2/3 cheaper than the going rate generally, depending on what you're earning and stuff. And anyway, someone didn't move back into my place. They didn't want it anymore for some reason. Don't know any story, don't know why, don't know anything. But all I know is that the house wasn't really kept very good. The gardens weren't very good, so they weren't obviously taking good care of the place. Maybe they were getting old, or I'm not sure. Really don't know the story. But anyway, that flood that just hammered so many people and created so much havoc, and which I'm always feel really sorry for, actually blessed me and my daughter, which is just amazing how things work, right? So yeah, that's basically how we got here to be on this this beautiful property that's going to become more self-sufficient. We're going to get some chickens and put fruit trees in and grow herbs and veggies and all that type of stuff, and set it up so it's all systemized, and yeah, it's really, really exciting. Now, I think on the side here now, I'm using my phone, and so I'm not really that good on the chats on the phone. I use other software on my computer. We're still trying to set that up, and we've got to get this NBN box come in and things like that to get the internet running properly. But I saw a chat pop up earlier, so if we want to start asking any questions, anything like that, I'd be glad to answer them and have a chat with you guys. So I've got like 14 people on at the moment. Some people have popped in. I don't know. I see like these numbers going up and down. They're either new people that have never been here before, or they're people that sort of follow the channel. And there's some hardcore crew that stay here and watch and really interested in what's going on. And you know, I'm truly grateful that I actually have stuck with this Marty's Garden, the channel, because it provides a nice, not a big income, but because my rent's so low now, we can keep on rolling. And it's not all about the money so much anymore. It's all about this new change and adventure with this miracle, which I believe through prayer, because it's virtually impossible to get these places. 6 years on the waiting list. Never thought I'd ever hear anything, ever hear boo. We're in here. And so, if you're coming in later and you want to watch and listen to the whole story, I recommend you go back later and watch the rerun. But hang in for now, and we'll see if any questions come through. When I click the, I'll just show live chat or things. Yeah, there we go. Medical cannabis is always good for help those with kind of issues, mate. Yes, I tried some of that. Actually, it does work not too bad. I might get some more again into the future. But yeah, we've got this chat popping up, and I'll just scroll down and see what else we've got. Hey Marty, hope all is well. Bendigo Hobby Farm, great man. Yeah, it's good, really good. Hello mate, Pinball Wizard. We got a wave from Beezer, and hi on Grain Life Show. Awesome. And yeah. So a few people dropping some comments in there, and I'll just sort of scroll down through now. I've opened them up, and ask any questions that you may have. Hopefully they just keep popping up in front of me there. As I said, I'm just going from my phone. I've made a cup of tea. And I thought this is the best way to just make the video to tell that story. People that have asked for it can now watch it and learn about my blessing, which I believe is a real miracle. Because, the whole struggle that I went through, from the illness, being displaced, we went through floods, some gnarly stuff. And then all of a sudden, within 2 weeks, to be on a space like this. Now, the next best thing is that what's really, really amazing is the fact that it's, like we're going, which sort of blows me out a bit in a way of how sort of like things work. Like we're going into this like problem around the globe at the moment, whether you sort of follow the sort of economics of things and stuff like that. We all know that inflation's going to go out, it's going out of control. More people are going to be growing more food. People are going to look at becoming more self-sufficient, because it's just like, I went and put a capsicum on the thing the other day, so a big red chili or whatever you guys call it in America, $3, and I'm not paying that $3 for one capsicum. There's no way I'll pay it for expensive a broccoli head or whatever, because I know that's good for me and stuff. But I'll just eat carrots, and so perfect timing really for getting self-sufficient, right? This time on this edge of the world is changing at the moment to become so expensive to buy food. And so it's, the gasoline's already killing us. It's costing me 40% more to fill up my truck than it was only a month ago. So we all know that's things are getting pretty crazy, right? So the whole concept here will really be not so much the micro farming as I was before, but just becoming more self-sufficient, working with that and trying to develop new systems related to bringing in worm farming, composting systems, chickens, and growing fruit trees, and growing sort of the microgreens, the baby leaf, and then the sort of, in between that, the sort of like other mature plants that we can eat in this subtropical region. So at the moment, winter time here, and so I'm growing mostly lettuces and those type of things, mustards and those family, the brassica families, along those lines, and some cool climate tomatoes and things. GC, I was trying to watch but the internet was going in and out, and I'm so happy for you. Prayer is really wonderful. It sure is, my friend, and God is good. And as I said, like being in this walk isn't always easy, and I very rarely bring it up on my channel, but I feel like I just got to be, I'm always 100% honest, so I'm not going to go away and not share what I want to say and my belief systems and things like that. But either way, you just keep watching, because there's going to be lots of stuff coming up where you'll get to see this whole, you'll get to see everything sort of like growing and starting from the very beginning, because I've got a brand new palette, which is really, really interesting. I've got a comment here, so I'll just bring that up. Hi Marty, how did you transport all your worm farms? You speak so naturally. It's a great channel, and I'm happy it worked out for you. That's wonderful. Thanks, Miranda. I only bought with me, now get this, so if you've seen the Taj Mahal video, that's the only worm farm I bought with me. I left everything back where I was living at Camden Haven at the landscaping site. I gave them a little bit lesson on how to feed them and stuff. They got my number, and hopefully they'll keep it running and just breed up the compost worms into the future, because that's a part of a legacy that I want to carry on. So I've only got a few thousand worms that I'm starting with all over again, and yeah, it's going to be cool, and it'll be interesting to see how I can breed them up quickly. So let's go down here and see. Marty, if you're getting hens and if you're breeding your own for meat, a good silky hen will be your best investment. They're great mums. They go broody. I'm just trying to get this, the chat keeps disappearing. They go brood. They're great mums. They go broody. There's so no need for incubators. Yeah, look, I've had chickens off and on in my life. I'm far from an expert with them. I've always had success with them though, because I just love them. I take best care of them I can, and my daughter Karen's excited to have them again. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. I'm pretty sure we're going to get chickens in the next month or so if all goes well. And we've got some cool crew turning up here. Lisa, good to see you again. I'm excited to see a new adventure. Thanks, Lisa. LP, hey Marty. And did you bring your worms with you, or are you starting again? I'm totally starting again, just from one big worm farm, 3-level one, the Taj Mahal. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. I've got so the only other worm farm I have is the underground one, and I can't even think of the name at the moment, the company that gave it to me. We were going to build a whole big worm farming area down the coast, but as things change, I hang on to that, and so that will be being used quite a lot. And I'm going to start chasing down some type of straw or big sugarcane bales, and we'll start building above ground beds with those. So basically, if you would like to call them lasagna beds or above ground gardening sort of thing, we're going to be doing that, not much digging. And yeah, and starting from there and just expanding out slowly. So people that have only got small spaces will still benefit a lot from this as well, because they'll be able to use a lot of the methods used that in a small space. And similar to what I did down in the other property where we just had sand, so building above the ground and the bales, and then lobbing the compost on top, and then getting the worms in around, and just building the biology up. That cup of tea is so good. Excuse me. I need to do it. So we've got 18 people. Well, someone just bailed us and we have a cup of tea. I'm not saying you to watch people have cup of teas. That's funny. All right. How are you liking your new space? LP, well, look, we're still moving into this home. We're still getting everything sorted, running around. It's basically, I left a lot of stuff. So we had to buy everything sort of new again. I didn't really keep much except for a fridge. So, we had to go out buy washing machines and, had to get some tables from friends and some chairs and bedding and beds and all that type of stuff. So still sort of doing that, but at the same time, I'm doing a little bit of gardening every day and preparing for the new space. I'm pretty excited with it. There's some spots where the sun comes around, hits the side of the house. We should be able to paint that flat white at the back and really get some light going in there for get the good light reflecting for the papayas and stuff like that. And so looking at spaces where we can put the fruit trees, where we can put the chicken run. Fence has got to be repaired, got pretty affected. Oh, excuse me, from the flood. So we're not real sure about how we're going to start the chicken pen or anything like that yet. But you know, they're obviously going to play a good role, give us fresh eggs, do some digging around, give us some manure, things like that. Starting using the old manure, Asian manure in the worm farming systems. We've got a big cow paddock behind me, so plenty of cow manure, which I really love. It's probably one of my most favourite, that as well as chicken manure that you can get, like in a homestead situation, I guess, if you're going to call this a homestead, you could say that. So lots of cow manure at the back, really great for worms. They just love the stuff, and when they put it through their gut and pass it through, they bring out new microbes that don't exist unless they pass through a worm's gut. So yeah, that's pretty exciting to have that. So I've really got a lot quite around me, and my neighbours seem pretty cool too. Like, you know, like oh yeah, a couple have come over and said hello, and I just, you know, I live close to friends and stuff like that, and yeah, I'm stoked. Like tonight we'll go off to my prayer meeting with my friends and do that sort of thing, and then you know, I'll be down doing some photography down the beach and stuff, and then videoing from here and going back and to and from my work. But I've got a few more weeks off because school holidays is coming up. So yeah, it's happy times at the moment to get it all done. I'm excited to hear about all these new plants as GC. Well done. Hang on. I don't know why it disappears. I'll leave it up. It should just stay up for me. I've got to learn more about these. From GC Rodriguez, I'm excited to hear about all of your new plans. Well done. This is just wonderful news. It's good to see you so happy. Really good. Thank you so much, mate. I really do appreciate it. And everyone that's been following the show here for so long, you know. I think the channel's been running for over 12 years. And it originally started never to be something to make an income from. We just ended up monetizing about 4 years in. And then it's, you know, it's been a way to sort of help me and my daughter, well, help me as a father raise my daughter and be at home because I'm not homeschooling, and give her a good life instead of having to be out, sort of like leave at 7 o'clock in the morning and come home 6 o'clock at night, and with no one around for her. It was just impossible to do that. So Marty's Garden really, and running some other little businesses and things on the side has really helped me do that for my daughter. And I believe that's a part of the blessing, is because I've stuck there for my daughter right through the thick and thin. And, you know, yeah, and look where we are now. So we've got another comment here, mononeuron. I hope I got that right. And we will just get that up there. And no till, you're on clay, yes, out of flood zone. Well, sort of. This area probably only flooded every 100 years or something like that. On 2,000 square meters side of a cliff, and 1,000 hundreds of bales of sugarcane mulch broke down really well, but well concerned with chemical leaching. I'm not too sure about the, you know, like, you've got a good point, but it's pretty hard to get away from these days. Yeah, but anyway, look, soil, a lot of people forget that soil actually does improve itself. And when you get a good fungal thing, like it eats up, it chews up oil and different, you know, bad bacteria, you know, all the nasties and stuff like that. So I'm a big believer of feed the soil, not your plants. So I'll just do the very best I can with what I can. If you go, I'm not going to get that, I won't get this because of this, you never end up doing that. So, you know, I've just got to, if all I can get is sugarcane bales, then I'll just use those, and I'll just turn it into humus as best I can. And I've got some fungal powders and things like that for introducing fungi and stuff like that. So we'll probably do that as well. And then hopefully the native, like I've been doing some digging in the backyard, and there's some monster worms, like we talk, whoa, like I don't know what type they are or whatever, because I don't know, you know, but they're big. And so they'll be good hard workers here. So I'm pretty excited about that. And obviously at some stage we'll dig some up, show them to you if we can. But yeah, it's, you know, look, I'm getting speechless here because look, we're just so flooded with microplastics and all these different things. So we've just got to do what we can to beat through it, you know, and save money, grow fresh food. That's the main goal, and try to avoid any sort of negative impact that sort of comes my way as best as possible. If you got any more questions about the place, the move, the worm farming area, no problem. We've got a nice big space up in the backyard. It's a big sort of like a metal tin thing that someone's erected at some stage. It must have been some type of garden bed. It's just full of rubbish and rubble and stuff, but there's still a lot of space. I'll just start throwing in compost and mushrooms in there. We'll put an underground worm farm in there, maybe put in some straw, sugarcane sort of things. And worms escaped in the environment, little darling, popping up everywhere. Okay, yeah. Certain places, certain countries that can happen. Not so much here. Australia is just not the right environment for them to do that. We're dry, hot, extreme things. So they basically just hang in the compost areas or where the worm farming's being done. Okay. So, and in some gardens and things like that, it's actually good to have them around, right? All right. If you got any more comments, just keep going through. So I've got this space now in the back corner, sort of like in the shade most of the time, and I'll start building that out once my worms from the Taj Mahal worm farm, which is the only worm farm that I've kept, are breeding up, and we start getting bigger numbers. We'll just start expanding out, and you know, like this spring, and then by next autumn, we'll have heaps, and there'll be more than enough within a year or two. So I'm not overly concerned. I'm just going to use sort of like what's naturally here. And, you know, like I said, we'll get the chickens, so we'll have fertilizer from them. Got the cow manure, we'll have heavy fats. Oh, mate. You put oh, brother, you didn't have to do that, but you're so kind. And he's put in a $50 super chat or something like that. So thank you, mate. Normally I have, what do you call it? It's like in the live thing, I've got like bells and things that go off and that, and it says, go get capsicums, brother, I'm off to build some greenhouses onwards and upwards. Yeah, we're going out to see, thanks mate, you're such a champion. We're going out to see, I've been out to see Pepe already one time. We're going to go out there and do some filming. And I told him the other day, I sent him a message, said I'm going to come and help you at so hopefully, mate, if you're getting to the markets, we'll speak soon. I'm going to come to the market. You don't have to pay me or whatever. I'll just come and help, man. And we'll sell you some stuff for you, right? Yeah, so thanks, brother, for that. All right, so anyway, the story keeps rolling on. We keep building out and expanding. So we're looking at sort of areas for fruit trees and things we can put in now and go from there, you know, like around the bottom of the fruit trees, we'll put things like garlic, chives, and look at all the different companions. You know, we'll look at the comfrey and stuff like that. I'm going to buy an avocado tree and put it in a big pot. I'll get a couple of those actually. The avocados are probably the most expensive out of all of them. And yeah, we'll put them in containers for now and work out how we're going to raise them off the ground. I'm worried about the Phytophthora, which attacks the root systems if you get waterlogging and stuff. They need really good drainage, but it's worth having a shot, right? Avocados are worth it. So yeah, unfortunately I lost my last tree due to some problems down the coast, and I didn't really bring it onto the video because I just was so disheartened about it. I just thought, oh man, and it was my fault. It wasn't anything to do with anything else. I actually left some where I tied it up, the rope up against a fence. The rope had grown around it and I didn't see it because it was covered over by leaves, and it sort of like stopped a lot of sap flow and stuff. So yeah, totally my fault, and yeah, sort of a bit spewing about that. But anyway, we'll do that. We'll get some avocados in and different things, and then look at what other trees we're going to get. You know, like get some spice trees like kaffir lime for cooking Thai and Asian food. We've got the lime tree already. Then we've got a Murcott mandarin already, so we'll go and get a couple of avocados today probably, and we'll look at the straw bales. So the straw bales will be the first things I'll be filming. Now, some of the videos will be raw and sort of straight into it and sort of vlogging style, because I'm not going to be doing so much, this is how you do this and this is how you do that, and I'll be talking about and showing stuff, but I just find those videos don't perform as well. People only watch them, you know, I make a 10-minute, 15-minute video, people only watch them for 3 minutes, things like that. So I just want to keep sharing the story here and go back to the original part of why I created Marty's Garden, was to just update and show. So I've got this like catalogue of my life sort of thing, and then pass on in the same time my knowledge and my experiences and things that are going well for me, things that aren't working for me, that type of stuff, and hopefully pass on as much knowledge as I can to you guys. I've been in this game for a very, very long time now, and hopefully I can share stuff with you to really help you. I know I have for many over the past, so that really warms my heart to know that, and hopefully we can keep carrying on that tradition as well at the same time, cataloging the story of what's going on, because this is an amazing house that I'm in, an amazing place, and I've got this beautiful mountain straight behind me, and I get nice sunsets and things like that, and I get this beautiful sunrise as well, and it really is such a blessing. And I feel that, you know, maybe my neck problem with the dystonia will probably just go away, because stress has got a lot to do with the way that it sort of hangs on to it. It ignites it. So whenever the stress gets worse, it gets worse. And I don't get the agitation of the movement, involuntary movement in my neck, but I get a lot of pain in my neck and shoulders and things. So I'm hoping that a lot of that will just disappear over time, and that will start building on. So if you've got any more questions, guys, keep firing away. Like, you know, it's just, I'm happy just to be here and answer anything that you've got while I drink my cup of tea. I'm sitting in my little humble home. My daughter's still asleep. She's getting a little bit of an extended holiday at the moment. And things are really good. And again, thank you, Pepe Fasos, for that $50 super chat thing, or whatever it is, a pink thing that just appeared straight up. That's just amazing. And as I said, he will be in a part of the storyline, because we've been chatting for a while off and on, but never really met in person until recently. So, and he's doing some amazing stuff, and I just want to share it in my stories. It's an hour's drive, but we'll get out there, and and he'll be coming over here from time to time. So, yeah. So how big is your yard? Well, it's 760 squares all up. So I think 260 squares is the size of a 2-bedroom house, small bedroom. So if you can think of that in metric form, I'm not sure exactly, but it's a quite large yard. And as we're showing the vlogs, I'll take you for a walk around the yard one day soon. And it mightn't be for everyone, but yeah, hey Daz, just joined in. If you just come in late and you want to watch the rest of the story of how I got this house, just go back and watch the rerun later. It's got a lot to do with my walk and my prayer time and answered miracles, which I believe. It's anyway, if you want to know that story, just watch it later, or fire away while you're here and ask a question. Because I just sporadically come on live, you know me, I very rarely sort of organise and let people know. It's just like, I feel like doing a live show today, feel good, let's do it, let's roll it and see who's here, and enjoy a cup of tea with you at the same time. It's good, that tea. Dazza, well, I'm interested, mate. Well, good on you, Dazza. And yeah, check it out, bro. If you want to just go back to the rewind button sort of later and have a look. If not, fire away a question. Be happy to answer. And LP, yeah, would love a yard tour. Maybe take us through your plans so far. No worries on raw footage. I think folks are going to like watching you put it together from scratch. Please have a great evening coming in live, as it is interesting. Cheers, LP. So there's lots of people here commenting and stuff like that. Yeah, I will take you for a walk around the yard. We're only about a week away, and we get the internet on, and so we're just using the phone at the moment to sort of run these live shows and different things. And yeah, I'll take you for a walk around the yard. There's not a real lot to see. It's just this space now that's sort of like still a bit messy. There's stuff all over the ground from the flood, and when the last person who was renting here didn't really take good care of the yard, and so we've got to get out and rake it all up, and we've got to dig holes, and we've got to look at where we're going to build, and I'd really like to put like a big shed up the one side, and then have somewhere where people can camp at one sort of end, put like a composting toilet, and then on top of the roof of the shed, some solar panels and things where people can charge stuff, and a water tank, and then run the chicken shed off the side of it, and then sort of, espalier plants off the side of that, and sort of build off the shed to create this sort of like stages of things that we can do. And I think, there's no rush, because I just want to get it right. I'm sort of looking a lot at the soils, looking at where the sun is, and the planning, because as I said, I don't have to move now. We've got this permanent space, and won't be so mishmashy. It'll be set up, and then obviously things are always evolving and changing, so we just work on improving it. I've actually got my head in some books again, looking at some different things and learning some new systems and stuff like that. So that's inspired that new interest in me. I was getting pretty burnt out down the other place because I was just working quite hard, and I found the composting side of things and the worm farming on the larger scale a bit hard on my body. So I don't know if I'll be going back into that side of things again. And I found I was getting really pressured by councils and different things to come up with all these answers, and then no one's to pay you for it. They just go, you got to apply for grants and all this stuff. So it's like, I'm just looking really at the self-sufficiency side of things. Maybe I'll put a little honesty box out the front of my house, where I'll be able to put some plants and some food and things like that. People can drop a couple of coins into the box and take what they need. We might look at something along those lines to cover costs, and just might have a little bit of an income coming in. And so the first things really is just herbs, cherry tomatoes, and like get obviously fruit trees like the perennials in, so we can get consistent food over time. But and just get like the ABC crops. So the A crop is the microgreens going first, and they're up now. Pepiphasos gave me a whole lot of seed, grow some more, and some plants and things are awesome. So since you've seen the last video, we've got more plants again, and build up those edibles just in pots for now, while I work on building the soils up and stuff, and have food coming in like within the next week to 2 weeks. There'll be food coming in, and maybe I can do some harvests and show you if you'd like to see that. That would be really cool. LP, will you be turning your whole space into a food forest? Now, that's a really good question. The lady next door to me, she has this sort of foresty sort of garden, right? And you have these forest gardens beside you, natives and things, so you bring a lot of birds and insects in and stuff, so they do a lot of the cleaning up. They're your sort of, your little army to take care of your garden. So I'll be planting some natives and things in corners and doing that type of stuff to bring in little finches and bring them into my yard as well, and the birds and insects and stuff. Setting up, water areas for little frogs and things to hide and all that type of stuff. But it's really going to be much more tidy than the last one. I'm not going to let things go wild and rampant as much, because it's going to be more systemized. But in a way it'll have that look to it too, but just so it's a bit easier to take care of. But it'll still be following that permaculture organic system, and I wouldn't say so much a food forest, but it's definitely going to have those permaculture organic elements to it, which I want to bring into my own. A lot of permaculturists have walked away from food forests and just more into, which is really interesting, going into the companion planting and doing rows and things like that, and not so much monocropping. And so that's what I used to do at the beginning when I had the micro farm, and it's really good to see that others heading in that direction as well, and keeping the balance really nice for nature. So hopefully that answers the question. Awesome. Awesome. How cool is your neighbour as a gardener? Yeah, they all are around here in this area. Well, not all of them, but people are really into sort of like that. It's a bit of an alternate lifestyle place, LP, what are you most looking forward to? You know what? That's a great question. I'm looking forward to today, because it's all an adventure, right? And so I'm not thinking like so much like I used to have to before, where I'm like, because I was always thinking, oh man, I'm gonna have to save this, change all these ways to try and get into a permanent place, because I was always worried about rental stress. So now it's just more like, oh, what can I make today? What can I do today that's going to help me in the next few weeks or in the next 6 weeks, and start harvesting and creating and living more self-sufficiently, and just simplifying my life down. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to getting out and doing some photography, some more video out. So I've got another channel, and if you're not interested in sort of surf stuff and beach stuff, it's probably no good for you, but it's called For Those Who Surf. And I've set up like I own the website address for that, and the business names and things like that for that. And I just go down the beach and I just shoot people. I just video people doing the beach lifestyle, and that channel's doing really quite well. We've got about 7 videos or something on there now. Now, don't head across there and watch it if you're just going to watch a 5-second snippet of the video, because you hurt the channel. But if you're really interested in something like that, then maybe go over and have a look, and like watch more than half the video, because that's why I never mention it, because people go, oh yeah, that's great, Marty's doing it, and they watch a 5-second snippet of it, and then YouTube goes, oh, they don't like that video. So it's sort of almost pointless to sort of mention it. But yeah, I'll be shooting that, those videos, and then at home. And so I'm just looking forward to just living my life how I've wanted to for a very long time, without having like having that rental pressure in your background of rents going up, food prices going up, gasoline going up, and then knowing that, okay, the lease may finish and you've got nowhere to live, or you might have to move back into we've always got the holiday house, which is my sister would let me live in, but that's limited time as well, because it's their place. So it's always, yeah, that sort of pressure, and that's been relieved from me now. It's just like a big weight. So I think if I was going to say one thing, I'd probably be the chickens. I just love those chickens, but I don't want to get them in where they're just going to run havoc and just ruin everything while I'm setting up, and then I can't eat my food that I'm growing now. So I've got to set it up so they can, we can control them for a time being, and control them the whole time actually, for where they can wander and stuff, until everything's set up much better. So good question. I know I rambled on a bit there, but yeah, probably chickens would be my major thing that I'm really looking forward to. So yeah, good question. Thanks, LP. If anyone's got any more questions, we've still got 10 people watching. Miranda says that would be a huge relief. It really is, LP. We've got some claps going in. We've still got some people watching, and it's been a pretty fun live show. We usually go for about an hour, so we're about 48 minutes in, and happy to answer some more and keep chatting about it. We'll scoot in here for the hour, and then probably this week, if I can get the computer up, we'll start looking at doing some more video stuff. How do you find worm farms require a lot less food and water in wintertime, Miranda? Do you find worm farm? Yes, they do, because they slow right up. So you just got to watch it, and just sort of like, if they're not eating as much, then yeah, just cut back on the feeding, just let them eat the carbon, or the bedding. LP, looking forward to see how this better life allows you to blossom. Stress is a heavy weight. It really is, yeah. It's a killer for many, right? And I believe it's what set my illness off in the beginning. But when you go for years and years and years of continued layers of stress, it could be worse, like your body gets sick and tells you, hey, you got to stop doing something. And it could have been, like my friend who's a Sifu, he's a Kung Fu Sifu, and they all these Sifus head off in one direction. Some go into healing. He went into acupuncture and does Tai Chi, and it's one of my teachers. He said to me, you're really lucky. He said, you could have had a heart attack. And I said, yeah, that's very true, because your body does something to show you you're doing too much and you're not handling it. And so I look at that as a blessing, I guess, in that way. Not that saying anything bad about people having heart attacks. A close friend of mine had one just recently, and he said it was a horrific experience. But So anyway, yeah, hopefully I take those layers of that's sort of stress away and go from there. We got Aussie Grows Show. Morning, Marty and all. Aussie Grows Show. Oh, that's a cool name. I like that name. For every dark night, there is a bright day. Yeah, very, very true. Very true, high and homegrown. Thank you very much for the positive words. And, like coming in and just being supporters of this channel, and hopefully I'm giving enough value back at the same time. As I said, my friend Pepe Fassos, who gave me the super chat today, will be going and doing some videoing over there with him, and it's going to be interesting what I can film, because I don't have to worry about so many things now, the elements of what I'm putting out, because before it was like, okay, how much did this video make? How well did this one perform? I can just share the story now. As long as the stories keep rolling on, it doesn't matter if one video doesn't do so good, the next one does or whatever. Just going to roll out the storylines. And I think, I'd love to get down there and film, like my friend Pepe, he's going to be doing all the salad mixes and the microgreens and all the different organic veg and stuff like that. At his place, a bit of his place, maybe at the market store as well, if that would be really fun, and see how that goes. So we'll just fix that up so I can see that. Stream shared, mate. Oh wow, you shared the stream. That's amazing. Thank you for that. And we'll roll out for a little bit longer. If you've got any questions, that would be really cool. I think as regarding the question from LP, what am I looking forward to most? And finally, I came to the chickens. It's just getting the chickens and getting a little home for them and making them feel comfortable. It would be really cool to get some young chicks and raise them and train them under whistles and signals and things like that. I did that with bird training years ago. And thanks, mate. And I think we could do that. That would be really fun. Have them come on commands. I know they're going to fly over the back fence. We've got a 6-foot back fence, and they'll go into that. Once they're old enough, they'll go into that back paddock and hit that cow manure hard and all that, I'm sure. But who cares? Doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, I guess, we just got to watch out for foxes and things here. For them and take the best care of them. But you always lose a few birds here and there. It's just nature. You just got to let them run have a bit of freedom at the same time and see how it goes. Aussie Grow Show. Oh, yeah, good to see you, bro. LP, that would be so cool to see trained chickens. Yeah, well, they're just birds and they come on whistles and calls and things like that. And we trained some parrots over the years, and I think we could do it. Money is the root of all evil, mate. Survival gardening is so rewarding. This is mononeuron. I'll just read this out here. There we go. Working for you, not someone else. Time to go and work in the garden. Good for the soul. Good on you, mate. Enjoy your day and out in the garden. LP, just be you. People like, I've tried to be authentic the whole time. And, that's why I said I'm not worried about sharing my story about this whole thing, because, as soon as you mention you're a Christian, everyone just bails. It's like, they unsubscribe or whatever and all this type of thing. I'm not so worried about that. I've never been out chasing 1 million subscribers, never really have. But try and do the best we can. And at the same time, I had to run it more as a business. But now we don't have to worry about the getting the deposit towards a house again. I can dive down and be even more authentic again, because I'm not worried about all this watch time and how many people are watching and who's watching that video and why they're watching this one. So it really takes that edge off it. It's almost like if someone gave you a whole lot of money and goes, just do that now, you can just do whatever you want. And you don't have to worry about production and getting sponsorships and bringing products lines in and all that type of thing to make sure you pay the rent, right? So yeah, really good changes. Penguin team watching, cannot wait to see what you achieve. I think it'll be interesting. Obviously I'm going to come across a few stumbles like everything. We're doing it a little bit differently than we have in the past, but mixing everything that I've learned and put together into new elements. And it's always about keeping on learning. So I want to do things that I haven't tried before, and and mix them into the equation. But looking at everything in a permanent solution, so I don't have to go and mix, mash, and change and move things. So things will take a little bit longer than probably usual, I would say, than they normally would. And we've got to get to put up the shed. I've just got to get permission to put the shed up. Then we've got to get costings on the shed, work out budgets, things like that, and go from there. Maybe we could do some type of thing. We could raise some money maybe towards getting the shed up. That would be pretty good, because I don't really have the funds for that. But who knows? Just taking it one step at a time to see where it goes. And like, look, Pepe Fassos just gave us the $50 super chat today, so something like that, that goes straight into helping sort of build something like that. So I think it would be pretty cool, and I'm really looking forward to just the progress and the change of it, and the building of it. And I've really got to get down with pen and paper and start drawing things out and looking at sun angles and soils and the worm farming systems and where the composting systems are going to go, because obviously at a lot of the end of garden beds and things like that, there's going to be worm farms, like at the end, in the middle of beds, and so they will be strategically placed throughout the place. Then we've got to do some trenching at the beginning where we're going to plant the fruit trees. So the trenching, we dig nice big holes and just start throwing compost into those systems and building up. So we dig big holes and start filling it full of manure and different stuff, and just let them sit for the rest of the winter, and just throw sugarcane over the top. All the native worms and everything, their biology will come in and move and start moving through that. And that's just what the Italians do every winter when they're planting their tomatoes. Then we've got to look at, okay, so there's going to be a couple of cash crops, and my best cash crops have always been cherry tomatoes, and then whatever else we've sort of got growing as well. So basil has always been a really good little cash crop, and then a few other things that will go out if we're allowed to have the honesty box out the front of the house. That could really keep things going. So we've got another comment here. I'll just keep, there we go. Hi on homegrown. Nearly midnight here in the UK, but keep up the great work on your channel. You're always positive. I don't know why it just disappears. How can anyone read that so fast? There we go. Let me get this. Sorry, mate. You're always positive and make great content. Thank you for everything you do. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate the support, man, and just coming in and just saying g'day. So thank you. Lots of love to you, brother. All the best. Okay, enjoy your sleep. All right, so we're going to probably finish up soon anyway. So if you want to fire away with any last questions before we do, do that. And before you go, actually go over and check out Pepe Fassos's channel. So it's Pepe, P-E-P-E, Fassos, F-A-S-S-O-S. And I think it'll be in the super chat somewhere at the top or whatever. And you'll be able to go, and he does microgreens, and he's getting into edible flowers for the rest of his some new content. So go over and subscribe to him. He's a great guy, and he's really he's got a good presence in front of the camera, and he's got a wealth of knowledge. I very rarely call out people like that, but I would recommend that you do that. So Aussie Grows Show, best time to start a worm farm. Well, you can start any time, but the best time is when the temperatures are starting to warm up. So when it's cold, everything's slow and things. So I would say the best time is spring, and then sort of autumn you're getting, when the temperatures have sort of stabled off, that's when you're getting the best breeding going on and the most cocoons laying, from my experience. So if I was going to say one time, I would say spring is the best time to kick them off. But if you live in a climate like I do, where it's subtropical, any time of the year is fine. But in temperate areas, I would recommend spring to kick off your worm farm. Now, I will be doing pieces of worm farming here on this channel. It won't be a worm farming channel like so much like before. It's just a part of what I'm going to be doing here that will be making the compost and things like that. So we've got a comment here. How's Karen? Hang on. How's Karen from LP? How's Karen liking the new home? Is she getting back into the idea of gardening? You never know with teens. She likes the idea of the chickens, and at the moment we haven't really shown it, but we're breeding. I'll see if I can show you these. You can have a look. We're breeding these guys. So this is our aquaculture system, which eventually we'll be moving. We might move into aquaponics with these. These are cherry shrimps. And we've probably got about 40 in there. We started with 4, and this is all, so we're not doing water changes in this. This is the substrate down in here. We're building the bacteria up in there, so they're dropping their manure in there, feeding the plants, and we're creating this revolving system. We drop a little bit of food in there, and we're building up the plants and things in there. So she's in a marine science, so I'm helping her with that. And that is a really cool little system. And I'm learning at the same time about how to create these, like an aquaponics system. So that little system like that. And we've had success. We've only lost 2 shrimps. We even moved them. They went in the back of the truck in a foam box and got shaken up and a couple of inches of water. And I was able to, we saved, I think we only lost 2 or something. So been really cool. And my daughter is just up now. She's just making a funny face at me going, Dad's doing a live show. So who knows where we'll go with that. There isn't any sort of like long-term goals on that currently at the moment, but we're going to build more tanks and learn how to do it, get better and better at it. And so she's interested in that, and then she really wants the chickens as well and learn how to do those. So hopefully, not being a teenager, she goes, yeah, I want to do the chickens, and just leaves the job totally to me. That would be really cool. LP says, hello, Karen. She didn't hear, but I'll say hello for her. She's probably gone off into the bathroom. And so, yeah, it's it's been pretty amazing so far. Just a lot of learning here, Marty. Yeah, Dazza, yep, a lot of learning. As I said, I've never done aquaponics stuff before. So just that little shrimp tank and keeping those plants alive and things like that. It's a really good one for me, and maybe I'll learn more into the future. But creating these living little tanks is pretty cool. I just love nature, right? So there we go. All right, so we're going to finish up now. We've been going for an hour, and just before you go, if you didn't see the story and you're really interested in my story, go back to the beginning. After this is finished, check it out and watch it and see what, see if you just want to know, because we're just bringing this right back to simplifying the show right down and really just bringing the story into the involvement of moving to this new home and then creating this new edible space that around self-sufficiency. And also, I just want to have friends around here and meet new people and bring them in and just share love with them, share fresh food and share joy. Because when you've got people, eat around and coming together, there's something really special about that. And I feel that we'll be able to do something really amazing along those lines. So, yeah, if you think that's something that you would like to follow along and you're interested in, as I said, there will be worm farming stuff in here, but it's going to be a real mixture of everything going on, and really delving into our life here in the Byron Shire, which is we're about half an hour, 45 minutes drive from the Gold Coast of Queensland. And I'll probably get out on some other farms and meet other people and share other people's stories as well. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I just feel like the pressure of having to produce content just to make money has been sort of taken away from me. And who knows, we may even just get even bigger from there. Not that it really matters, you know what I mean? It just is, we don't know where it's going to go. But I am truly thankful. I'm truly grateful for each and every one of you coming and watching just something like this little live show. Just shot my little mobile phone in my dining area on the edge of my kitchen. You guys are awesome, and I've got a lot of love for you all, and I'm just truly grateful. And so thank you so much. What we normally do at the end of these things is we get people to say goodbye to each other, and you know, I can't watch it all because I don't have the software and everything like that. We run a bit of music and things, so we'll keep running with that. Yeah, just welcome to say goodbye now, and I'll just finish my cup of tea, and I'll just give you a thumbs up and stuff. We don't have any music or anything to run in the background, but it's just awesome and pretty excited to be here. I'm going to run off soon and have some breakfast, and then we're going to look at getting some of the straw bales to get them started. And once we get them started, I'll show you some of them in there. So thanks, Andrew Epps. Good on you, mate. Have a great weekend all. Take care. From Lisa. I will, Lisa. Yeah. I got to, because I don't have that many. We've got to really make it sure they work hard. Wishing you all the best, Marty, from Miranda. Thank you very much, Miranda. LP, take care, Marty, and everyone. I'm sure I'll see you around. Have a great rest of your week. You too, LP. Blessings to you, mate. All the best. Yeah, so, you know, just welcome to say goodbye. Say goodbye to anyone else, you know, and we will be coming back in the very near future. And I said, if you come in late, come and watch the rerun and learn the story about how we is coming to this amazing space and blessed with this miracle of having a home and being able to take everything to another level. And so we got Mohammed Yassi. Hey, Marty, take care. I'm always watching you from Morocco. Thank you, man. Well, thank you, Mohammed, and all the best to you, mate. Blessings to you. And we just, you know, everyone, you know, from around the globe, it's just unreal that we can. I'm still blown out that I can reach someone like Mohammed over in Morocco. I'd love to go surfing over there, and you've got great waves there, man. I must say, that's somewhere I've always wanted to go, but it's so far. Anyway, maybe one day we'll get there. So thank you so much, everyone. Lots of love to you all. I'm going to head off, getting hungry, got things to do, and have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video real soon. Bye for now. I can't do that on the thing. Is that going to end? There we go. I clicked that one, and it ends. Have a great day.